Dillon Brooks has been making headlines all over the internet these days for his notorious views on the Warriors. I mean, first off, he said that he doesn't like the Warriors, that he doesn't like Draymond. Then, on top of that, he said that if Draymond were not on the Warriors, no one would know him. Ouch. What a take. What a take. Then, in a recent matchup against Golden State, after getting a bucket off a steal, he got into Draymond's face and insulted him, saying his podcast was quote-unquote cute and to keep using that mic. That was mistake number one. And if you thought it ended there, it didn't, because not too long after that, he blocked Curry's shot, and then he got into the two-time MVP's face and was running his mouth. Dillon, Dynasty Brooks. His words and actions are going to come back and bite him hard. Ladies and gentlemen, he made a big mistake trash-talking the Warriors. First off, I want to go over what Brooks said about Draymond. In an ESPN interview, he said that if you put him anywhere else but Golden State, you're not going to know who Draymond is. Then he followed that up a week later saying, "I'm a better player than him," with him meaning Draymond, of course.
Because I know I'm a better player now.
I don't know about y'all, but this is crazy talk. I gotta address this because trust me, what Brooks said was absolutely ludicrous. I like his confidence, but still, the words are just ludicrous. And let me show you what I mean. Now, forget all the accolades for now, forget all the championships. Let's just look at the numbers here for a second because, like Jay-Z once said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And since they're both known for their defense, I want to dive into their defensive numbers first. Now, the Grizzlies are, as a whole, a much better defensive team than the Warriors. I mean, pulling up the numbers from NBA.com, as you can see, if we just go by defensive ratings, Memphis is currently the third best defensive team in the league, while the Warriors are 14th. Now, from this, naturally, you'd assume that Brooks would have better individual defensive numbers than Draymond, but, well, I went on basketballreference.com and pulled up something you're going to want to see. This is a list that ranks players based on advanced statistics called defensive win shares. Some of y'all might not really look into basketball metrics, but in layman terms, this is one of the better stats when it comes to judging how good a player is defensively. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that when constructing a championship roster, this is one of the important numbers that front offices look at carefully. So, with that being said, here's Draymond at 24. He ain't the defensive player he was back in 2017 when he was number 2 and won the DPOY trophy, but hey, 24 ain't too bad. Now, Dillon Brooks. Where is he on this list? Well, he's not in the top 24. He's not between 24 to 40 either. Looks like he's not between 40 to 50 either, or 40 to 60. Oh, there he is, found him. He's all the way at 66. Sheesh, guys. And he said he's a better player than Draymond, who's on the tail end of his prime. So as we can see, although Brooks is an above-average defender at best, clearly he's not on the same level as Draymond, which is why it's ludicrous that he said he's a better player. Again, I love the confidence, but that's just crazy talk. Anyway, maybe he was referring to the other side of the court. Offense? Could it be offense that he was referring to? Well, let's take a look. I'll pull up both of their numbers here for everyone to see. So for 2023, Dillon Brooks is scoring more points with 14 compared to Draymond's 8. But look closer. And when I say closer, I mean look at those efficiency numbers. 39% from the field, 31% from 3, for an effective field goal percentage of 45. Those numbers would probably work a decade or two ago, but in the modern NBA, that's just ew. Then let's look at Draymond. 52% from the field is pretty efficient. 33% from three-point range, not so much. But look at that effective field goal percentage there of 57.8%. That's amazing, actually, and I ain't saying he's a better offensive player than a superstar like, say, Damian Lillard, but the truth is, he's more efficient than Dame Time. Then when we look at the PER statistic, which is arguably one of the best statistics in judging how good a player is overall, Draymond's 12.5 beats Dillon's 8.9. So when Dillon Brooks says that he knows he's a better player than Draymond, I'm a little confused. Aren't you? Anyway, here's a small clip of how Draymond responded to Brooks on his podcast.
If you ever wondered why the Memphis Grizzlies is not ready to compete for a championship, look no further than this idiot right here. Your level of understanding the game of basketball is at a fan level. And yet you running around talking about a dynasty?
So when I heard this, I thought one thing. If the Grizzlies' 2023 season ends in a big disappointment, Brooks may be in big trouble in the offseason. And here's what I mean. Dillon Brooks' contract is up this year. This is his last year of his 3-year contract, and like I said, if they completely underperform and get knocked out of the first round of the playoffs, what'll ownership look at when determining how to strengthen the roster? I mean, I brought this up earlier, but numbers are numbers, and this season, the 26-year-old guard out of Oregon is putting up some atrocious efficiency numbers. I'm guessing that ownership in the front office will look at what the media has been saying about him, and as per the new media Draymond, Dillon is the reason why the Grizzlies can't compete for a championship. You know, when I heard what Draymond said, I couldn't help but remember what Patrick Beverley said about Westbrook. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, years ago, Westbrook said this to the media.
Pat Bev trick y'all, man, like you play defense. You don't guard nobody, man, just running around doing nothing.
Then here's what Pat Bev said about that years later.
He damaged my career. Coaching staffs and players, fans, they looked at me way different. They looked at me like, you know what? He don't play defense. He just yells and run around, and held on to that. And some people still do.
Sheesh, guys. As per Pat Bev, the words of Westbrook damaged his career. And now that Brooks is in the spotlight, it can't look good that he has bad statistics and a 4-time champion, 2-time gold medalist, saying that he's the reason why his team can't compete for a championship. If Brooks doesn't perform well, and if the Grizzlies end the season in disappointment, while I know it won't be all Brooks' fault, he'll likely be the first on the chopping board. I mean, out of their 5 starters, they're not going to cut Ja Morant unless he continues his thug life. They're not going to cut Desmond Bane. They're not going to cut Jared Jackson Jr. And when it comes to Steven Adams, everybody loves Steven Adams. So it just seems that if they want to shake up the core a bit, Brooks will likely be the first to go. I mean, bad statistics, fights with literally everyone in the league, and now you got the media saying that he doesn't contribute to winning basketball? Anyway, to make matters even worse, just imagine if the Warriors match up with the Grizzlies in the first round in a 3-6 matchup. I mean, there's actually a good chance of that happening because, well, if the playoffs started today, they'd actually match up against each other. Anyway, by the time the playoffs start, Wiggins will be back, and so will Gary Payton II. Honestly, some people think I'm biased, but if I honestly had to put money on that series, I'd say that the Warriors would beat them like how they did last season. And if that happens, just imagine how humiliating that'd be for Brooks. Would he still be talking about a dynasty? Oh my goodness. As if he hasn't had enough embarrassment already when Klay taunted him in that Christmas matchup, and with Draymond taunting him too. Anyway, what does Brooks have on the Warriors? One good win against the Warriors in March? Can y'all believe that? One win against the Warriors in March, and he's talking all that crazy stuff about being a better player than Draymond. I know he's already a meme with his dynasty talk, but with this, he's going to be right up there with Devin Booker when it comes to trash talking gone wrong. And speaking of trash talking gone wrong, I want to do a final comparison of him and Draymond when it comes to accolades, just to put a final nail in the coffin. So here it is. Draymond has 4 championships, Brooks has 0. Draymond has 4 All-Star appearances. Brooks has 0. Draymond has 2 All-NBA selections. Brooks has 0. Draymond has 7 All-Defensive selections. Brooks has 0. Draymond has 1 Defensive Player of the Year award. Brooks has 0. Draymond has 1 steals leader. Brooks has 0. Draymond was selected 34th in his draft class. Brooks was selected 45th. So,
because I know I'm a better player now.
Sheesh, guys. This should become a meme. I mean, like I just showed, Brooks has absolutely nothing on Draymond. Like, nothing. And here, I thought Paul Pierce had a bad take when he said he was better than Dwayne Wade.